I asked Trump in the Oval Office on Monday if he wants Republicans next year to try to address the healthcare situation, the premium cliff it's being called, via reconciliation, and that way they wouldn't have to worry about Democratic votes. And he said he was open to it, and then he went on for 3 minutes about, well, instead just kill the filibuster and we could do it that way. The problem with that, Trump doesn't realize that reconciliation would be the easier path. It'd still be hard to get Republicans to agree on something that could pass both chambers with just 51 in the Senate. He doesn't have the votes to kill the filibuster. John Cornyn told me a couple weeks ago, no, we're not doing that. That's off the table. So Trump doesn't recognize that the easier path is reconciliation. Anyway, I'm shocked that Donald Trump has not grasped congressional tactics after all this time. Right?
Please,
I'm shocked. Can't believe it. Right.
He said with the sarcasm font.
Right. So when Congress comes back in January, they'll be back January 5th, I believe, and premiums are going to go up for hundreds of thousands or millions of people, and they will start to hear about this eventually. I believe their next recess is MLK week. I believe they're both taking that off, and they're going to go home, and that's when it's really going to start setting in. It'll take a few weeks. Most of these things take a few weeks to ripple down to the people, but they're going to start hearing about it, and this will be a big topic, for the first part of the legislative session. Trump wants to just give money straight to people and let them buy their own health insurance.
Socialism.
That does sound a lot like socialism. He wants to hand out tariff checks. So suddenly, I think a lot of, you're starting to hear some Republicans, some conservative folks wonder, is this guy conservative or not? He just wants to cut checks and hand out money. And I've read some experts, healthcare experts, who say doing that would not necessarily bring down the cost of anything. It might not even bring down the premium. So what we have here, I believe this is both a policy and a political term. This is a clusterfuck.
Yeah, that dog won't hunt, as they say down in Texas.
That dog, there's no dog.
They shot the dog.
No dog.
Who was it that shot the dog? Kristi Noem?
And last thing, we said this last week, it's important to remember. Again, Democrats have screwed this up too. There was no push by leaders, Democratic or Republican for that matter, to be fair, but Democratic leaders in both chambers. Nobody got the moderates in the room. Nobody got the Democratic moderates and sat down with the Mike Lawlers and called Susan Collins over from the Senate and got in a room in the Capitol and said, okay, let's write a bill and let's try to force everybody to vote no on it. That's how you get out of this thing. And Trump didn't do it either. And sometimes the president calls, those kind of folks over to the White House. They sit down in the Roosevelt room, they come up with something, and then they start pressuring everyone else. We haven't seen any leadership on this.